Good evening, all of you, sir. Yesterday, we have discussed up to the occupational health disease in textile industries. In that, possible disorders in previous studies listed below, like for example, there is a physical hazards, electrical hazards, ergonomical hazards, physiological hazards. With these hazards, what are the occupational health hazards may be expected during the exposure of this textile industry process? For example, if you see the possible disorder in previous studies are listed below, the diffuse lung disease will be one of the what is called occupational device. The prolonged exposure to cotton dust cause disease called bisonosis, commonly known as a brown lung. This will be very dangerous to the not equal to the bronchitis, but equally a feeling of the bronchitis where the spine, the breathing apparatus, breathing what is called, they will be not perfectly, it will be coming. The disease initially causes difficulty breathing, which later develops into several severe and sometimes lifelong disability also, because once any the symptoms is there for the breathing problem is there, those who are worked in textile industry, immediately they have to consult the doctors, not to be delayed, and delayed because it causes the lung disability also. The statistics also given, the 30,000 people were infected with poison Benesis reported more than 30,000 people were infected with poisonous. About 1 lakh were at high risk because they are 30,000 people are simply they are neglected by uh, showing their condition in the OSC. It will lead to the developing the risk will be more to the 1 lakh people and all. So therefore, the 50 to 60, most of the age, that's where we discussed about the that people are affected more than the normal youngsters and all. For example, if it is the total of 190 participants were evaluated for respiratory function, 115 were already affected by bisonosis, lung cancers, lung diseases, because 60.61 percent almost all will be affected. That means one of the where the symptoms is there, definitely it will be consulted a doctor immediately without getting delay by the who are working in the employees. In the example in the textile industries, same this is one of the this diffuse lung disease is also called bisonosis. The same thing, and dry cough is also one of the attempt is there where the dry cough will not be allowed simply. Wet cough means okay when the phlegm is there, the phlegm formation is there, it will be coming out. It will be okay, but when compared to wet cough, dry cough is very dangerous. Workers working in the textile industry, cotton dust exposure zone are affected by chronic cough. Chronic cough differs from regular asthma, usually characterized by persistent cough more than 3 months, like me, because that cough will be normally any cough or cold it will be 7 days will be having for a human being who is healthy. But whereas in textile industry, if you get delayed, definitely more than 3 months, if you're not allowed the to take the OHC medicines and all, it will be very dangerous. Inhalation of allergic cotton dust irritates the throat, resulting dry cough. This is one of the important. Inhalation of the allergic cotton dust irritate that irritates the throat, resulting the dry cough. And AFIS, one of the scientists, study on textile workers in Karachi and Pakistan involving about 372 adult men in 15 textile mills showed that 7.5 percentage of that means 372 members of adult, that means above 50 to 60. In 15 sextile, their statistics mean showed that 7.5%. That means almost all 372 into 7.5 means almost all maybe the to 20 the number of persons will be affected in 15 industries of the subject to suffered from chronic cough. This study states that a person experiences a cough for at least 90 consecutive days in a year for at least 24 months. This is one of the statistics in the time industries. What the people are having the this study states that a person experiences a cough for at least 90 consecutive days. That means alternative days in a year, at least for 24 months. That means 1 year. That means 1 year we are not supposed to get the dry cough. Otherwise, if you are not, that means that you are not taking care of the safety appliances in the textile industry. That way, dry cough is very dangerous. Discomfort in breathing, chest and constriction. Very important. This point is there is a significant because that fiber, the cotton dust is not neither dissolved in water nor dissolved nor what is called submerged in the anything what is called in the air also. It is not dissolved. Is very sensitive area. That's why there is a significant difference in breathing ability between exposed and non-exposed workers in cotton dust. Lot of difference is there because some sections are exposed to dust as previously told in spinning and gardening and all, where the cotton dust exposure is more. Where the cotton exposure is more, where the cotton exposure dust is not more, not an exposure, there is difference, significant difference they found in the textile industry. That's why normally the people are rotating the people are that means job rotation will be there for every 6 months or every quarterly. We experienced in the textile industries. A study conducted by A.V. Instant, that is one of the industrialists, involved 656 exposed subjects and 113 subjects not exposed cotton dust. Out of what is called the total employees, for example, 656 plus 113, for example, 800 is there, or 700 or 756 in Dell, out of which 650 is exposed to subjects and 113 subject not exposed to cotton dust, indicating that 7.2% of chest constriction and 9.9% of total experience in respiratory distress. And the study also noted there was some significant difference between the exposed and non-exposed. That is why 7.2 is who are those who are having the what is called non-exposed. Wherever the 9.9 exposed, the percentage affected because of their exposed to the members. That's why the lot of difference is there. 1.7 difference is there. That's why we have to see that exposed and non-exposed cotton dust employees will be job rotated will be taken place in the normal in the textile industry, cotton industries, man-made fibers and all these things where the cotton dust is there. That is why another record was conducted by one of the scientists, Laura Q. Study a total 224 exposed and 80 unexposed. 16.5% is definitely 224 exposure, 16.5. Out of which the 80 members are unexposed, whereas 224 exposure, the 16.5% is there. Because there is a significant difference is there between exposure and non-exposure workers in cotton dust exposure. That's why we are told by any employee in the cotton textile industry, they have a job rotation must. Definitely in the unions also people are asking about job rotation. And next to the toxic liver disease
Create
because of
more
the
awareness.
dimethyl, the toxic liver disease, dimethyl formaldehyde used aramid fiber solvent, excellent properties that contributes a major percentage of military fabrics. That means normal dimethyl amide is toxic to various animals such as cats, rabbits, and rats because they are taking the experiments while conducting the fiber test and all in the pilot plants, they will experience the very dangerous toxic liver disease is there. The cotton exposure or fibers will be exposed. Dimethyl formaldehyde is a carcinogenic. Carcinogenic means it is having the next to the toxic chemicals. Carcinogenic means it is immediately vapors is if you inhale, definitely it will become say cancer disease also immediately. That carcinogen, sometimes it will carcinogenic nature is there, that chemical, you will be very careful with that. They're telling like this. Carcinogenic means the next to toxic level or toxic chemical. That's why the carcinogenic chemical responsible for cancer and toxic liver disease. It also affects the female reproductive system and leads to birth defects also. That's why normally employees are working in the textile industry. They are limited to sewing machines only. There where the sewing is there, where the machines are there in the sewing machines, as already told in the textile industry, in the where we are discussing in the some of the what is called uh, these classes. The sewing machines they will be exposed. The employees are not in the spinning and otherwise other industry, other what is called areas and all. That's why the females, because their reproductive system will be affected. That's why they are limited to the sewings only. That means where the combination of the combining the yarns and combining of the fiber, they will be manually. They'll take the by taking the help of the sewing machines. They are not exposed to the work side where the men's are working there. That's why very unfortunately, that I have to show that figure. That's why it also affects the female reproductive system. That means birth system will be affected. That's why we have to be very careful with respect to the females working in the uh, textile industries. Noise induced hearing loss is NIL is very important here is because the noise levels here in the FPCB has 75 decibel not to 3 hours continuously. Here, the noise in textile industries refers to any unwanted signal. High noise levels in the processing department can cause lifelong ear loss because that much of the machine's sound will be there because of the yarn and fiber and the cotton is there. The different noise classification exists such as the continuous noise, impact noise, and discontinuous noise. These are the three noise levels are there in the textile industries where it will be affected very quickly the eardrum of the employees. In Tamil Nadu, some of the regulations, Tamil Nadu regulations are informed that for 8-hour exposure, 90 decibel absolute for constant noise and 140 decibels for impact noise, not exceeding 100 impacts per day, because they have given the noise levels difference is there. Continuous noise, impact noise, this component in Tamil Nadu regulations they have a noise levels impact like our PCB. They have some norms will be followed. Noise ranges from 40 decibel absolute to 100 decibels absolute in various sections of the textile industry. The following table describes the levels recorded in the different departments in the company. For example, if you see this, these are the different departments. Weaving, the noise levels is 94 to 100. The spinning is 94 to 94 to 96. Blowing is 85 to 89. Cording, these are the sections involved. Cording is 85 to 87 because the noise levels are different in the sections as informed here is continuous noise, impact noise, discontinuous noise, depending upon the sections. Therefore, the levels are different from different sections. If you take this, for example, the spinning is more, weaving is more, in these sections where the more up to this, where up to what is called dyeing and printing, 80 to 85 to 100 is there, where the employees of the female workers are not working, not exposed to that areas. That's why they are limited to that other packing, storage, and administrative aspects. Why that middle frequency is given is this 94, that we can say the average, but we called as a Tamil Nadu regulations telling the middle frequencies. For example, 94 to 96 in middle frequency is 95, 85 to 89 middle frequency is 87. If we take the, for example, average means point 0.5 something will be coming decimals. That's why they called a middle frequency. They given a round figure number, which will be affected more what the scientist or industrialist of the textile industry sold. For example, these words you see, for example, decibels, absolute measurements give more weight to middle frequencies and less weight to low and high frequency. This is important word we have to mention, or we have to keep in mind before what is called measuring the decibel absolute. Because the 95, 94, 96 is there, the middle frequency, they give more weight to middle frequency and less weight to low and high frequency. That means this is low, this is high, whereas 95 is the middle frequency. That's why here this is low, this is high, middle frequency is this. Middle frequency is affected more by the human ear damage. That's what the regulations told, because the different noise levels are there. Because of the already told the continuous noise, impact noise, discontinuous noise is there. Because of the three different noise are there, the difference is also the inconvenience also more for the eardrums. That's why they consider the more weightage to the middle frequency is very, very important. In sections, in different sections, averages as well as the middle frequency is there. It will be considered this is the more weightage to the eardrum. Beyond that, we cannot avoid to wear the safety PPE recommended. How does how to prevent the occupational hazards here is? One is identifying the workplace hazards, reduce the workplace noise. Third one is reduce work environment stress. And fourth one is they conduct regular checks and mock drills. These are the four methods to prevent up to some extent to the occupational hazards. Like example, physical and all these things. Identify the workplace first of all. We have to identify the what are these areas. Identify the workplace are not only a more noise levels, but also where the dust cotton is more in the sections that will be identified first by the experts of the textile industries of the employees. Accordingly, along with the noise, they have to see that the how the dust exposure is there among the all the sections. Dust and noise will be considered both in the identifying the workplace hazards. The first thing to do is thoroughly check the workplaces of the organization for any potential hazards such as all electrical equipment, electrical cables, and machinery. Also, if any equipment in the organization needs repair, it should be repaired as soon as possible and replaced immediately. Why is talking about the electrical equipment? Because any flash or any short circuit will be happened with respect to electrical. Whole cotton will be flammable. There's no question of the stopping of the firing. In such a way, it will be consequences you can find. That's why identifying the places not only with respect to the dust and noise, but also the electrical equipment where more is there in the sections and more the electrical cables are running through the environments or the workplace and machinery is there. These three areas you have to be very careful along with the dust and noise. That's why any equipment needs repair, uh, definitely it should be addressed without delay. That is one of the identifying work purpose to reduce the or to prevent the occupational health hazards. Because once you stop the any section, the dust will be more will be exposed to the employees. That's why normally textile industries are shutdowns is very nominally they will take either completely shut, no breakdown. Some sections are running, some sections are not running. It will not be happen. To close means they will close it. Like that, they have to plan the production. Reduce the workplace noise also. We have to see that which is this from this weaving section, spinning section, blowing section, cording section, up to this where you have a more noise levels is more. And also, along with noise, how much the dust is there, cotton dust is exposure is there. That also you will see the along with the workplace noise. Workers exposed to high decibel noise generated by machinery in factories can cause hearing loss. No, you know that. So, reducing the noise contents one's workplace is crucial. The workplace in these sections is very important. Whether we have a barrier to be taken place or the some obstructions will be taken place, the sound will not be transferred to one section to another section. Like that, we have to see the space constraint also at that time. So reducing the noise content is once workplace is crucial because workplace is not the encouraged for the putting any barrier. Definitely noise levels will be cannot be controlled. That's why workers should be provided with protective gear to deal with such problem because where the workplace cannot accommodate any barriers to provided by the organization, definitely noise level will be exposed to the workforce. Immediately that workforce, the safety department has forced to use the safety appliances like earmuffs and all, not to what is called this exposure too much. Otherwise, the lot of diseases occupational will be taken place. And all employees should be trained to use protective equipment effectively because training is a must, no doubt. But where the because of the workplace is crucial in the textile industries for putting the barriers and all, with respect to noise levels, we have to be very careful for employing the wearing of protective equipments or safety PPE with respect to the noise and dust also. Reduce work environment stress is a very important point. For example, if you see in any industry, the overall productivity of workforce plays a vital role in the work environment because they are putting some targets. One day, this much of tons production, this much of what is called roles will be taken like this. They are putting some pressure on the workforce. That's what the reduced work environment stress. It means though they are having the 12 hours work, we have to see that there should be a rotation of the job rotation as well as the members 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours work and half an hour take rest. Another employee will come like this. They have some the resting or rest will be taken place for the employee. That's why in this section, if they have what is called 15 members, they employ 20 members. In such a way, the 15 and 20 they are having rotation within the department itself. The nature of work in the industry refers to the temperature of the employee workplace, the risk of exposure to toxic chemicals at heat, as well as the exposure to the chemicals also, it will be happened because of the environmental stress also. Because ventilation, you don't expect the ventilation is much effective in the textile industries. Also, if workers are exposed to severe working conditions means 12 hours completely without giving any rest and all. Their physical and physiological well-being, that means stress, having headache, inconvenience, that's called physiological well-being is adversely affected. Not only the physically is affected, but also physiologically well-being is also will be affected if you severe work conditions is there. Therefore, it is advisable to take appropriate protective measures and train them for safety of the workers. We have to see that though having the 12 hours work, you have to see that employees rotation within the department because 15 workers required in the department, but they employed 20 workers. They have some understanding is there. They have what is called rotation to hours work, 15 minutes less like this. Therefore, we will reduce the some up to some extent reduce work environment stress also. Conduct regular checks and mock drills. Normally, the mock drills will be conducted. There's no doubt in that. But even then, the safety officer or the top management has to observe the person carefully who are working in these sections having more noise, having these two sections are having the dust is also more along with the noise levels. 1, 2, 3, 4. These sinks are having the cone winding is also having the almost all more noisy as well as the dust more dust levels also exposure is more. That's why we have to see that always observe the employees by the safety members. It is essential to conduct regular checks and mock drills every 3 months to ensure that safety at your workplace and prevent occupational hazards. Well-maintained equipment is the most essential part of the any workplace. PAT testing means the performance allowable testing that person is allowable to test is able to work or not. We have to see testing is a simple method to maintain the electrically safety in your workplace. The performance of the test is also will be taken. PAT we can say performance allowable test by the electrical equipment. You have to test the equipment because electrical equipment is very vital important in the textile industries. On the other hand, mock drills will help employees deal with the emergencies in a calm and collected manner. So make sure to conduct the mock fire drills at least once in 6 months at the workplace. So therefore, these are the four methods identify the workplace hazards and they reduce the workplace noises, reduce the work environment stress, and they conduct regular checks are very for some of the important to prevent the occupational health hazards or not to damage much by the employees. But why the safety members, safety department members, as well as the top management has to see the observation of the each and employees condition also will be taken care of. So because some of the people are not having the having hesitation to go for the OCC, occupational centers and all. We have to see that the condition of the persons also forced to test them. Safety precautions in textile industries. Safety precautions in textile industries include protective equipment, fire prevention, and training. No doubt. Clothing and gloves, earplugs, face masks. These are the protective equipment. Is up to some extent it will work, no doubt, but it should be effective. Working process will be there. Face mask which should be work, earplugs should be properly work, gloves should be not having any holes and all. The clothing, whatever wear protective clothing, that should be very covered almost your skin. That's what. Wear protective clothing that covers the most of your skin because the dust exposure to the skin is getting irritated and also there are three levels of noises. For example, I told three noises levels will get the some irritation of the body also, continuous noise, impact noise, and discourse noise. That is also getting irritated by the employee because dust, one side dust is dangerous, another is noise levels is also dangerous to the not only the skin but also the lungs as well as the organs of the body. That's why clothing is very important. Gloves is also equally important. Wear gloves to protect your hand from heat, chemicals, and injuries, definitely. Where the pinch points is there, injuries will be. Where the running points is there, where the two wheels are there, running machines are there, it will be very dangerous to happen in the injuries. That's why wear protective gloves also. Earplugs compulsory, but there is earplugs is telling, but I'm sorry to tell you, it is not ear. It should be have earmuffs to be used, but the person who is wearing earplugs, he cannot work properly, he cannot work conveniently there. That's why in textile industries, instead of earmuffs, they are using the only earplugs only. Because where earplugs are noise cancelling headphones, noise cancelling headphones to protect your ears from noise. Very very important also. Say no, there is some noise cancelling headphones is also there apart from the earmuffs. 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 Wear face masks to protect your face. That means where we have to wear the face masks to protect your face. Definitely the wear face masks to protect your face is important. Fire prevention is also there. Fire exits, emergency stop buttons, and fire safety. It's very, very crucial, sir. These three are. Because normally, first of all, we have to see that noise, dust is equally important to the occupational health. And also equally important to the damage of the property loss by fire. For that, you have to see the electrical equipment should be properly maintained. For that reason, we have to see that fire exit should be very clear. Access to go, access to go to the assembly points if any such situations has come. Fire exits, emergency stop buttons, and fire safety also. Mark clear fire exits that are not obstructed. Wherever you are marked to go to the fire exits way, this is the fire exit. You have to give arrow marks to be taken care of from there. You can give arrow or to the assembly points also. The arrow where the arrow marks is there, that should not be any obstructed or easy access to be there for all the employees to go for fire exits. Emergency stop button nearby operators should be in an operating floor. They have a panel room. Install emergency stop buttons on all machines. All machines we have to accommodate the emergency stop buttons. Fire safety is also very important. They clean mills and air ducts to remove the flammable because all ducts, whatever the dust extraction systems or the air blowing systems should be very clean, will be there. Otherwise, any ignition takes place, whole cotton will be burned throughout the industry. That's why these two, three are very, very important for the prevention of fire. Of course, the training, safety education, and machine operators should do provide training. Provide safety training to ensure employees are aware of hazards and consequences. This is very important word. Aware of not only hazards, but that respective hazard, what are the consequences there? What are the risks are there? What are the consequences will be expressed in the training itself to educate the people so that they'll be aware of every uh, consequences but not hazards. That's why they are worrying about the something they are having feeling on the consequences. That's why the safety education is important. Especially machine operators provide training programs for machine operators is compulsory because they have to crucial persons in the operating floor. In such a way, they have a steering of the department. They like a bus driver, how the steering is having. The machine operator is having the steering in that department. It depends upon him to how best he can maintain the safely that shift or the operator or the target to achieve. Other safety precautions in the textile industry other than this, ensure proper air and temperature so workers and equipment don't overheat because proper air will be flowed through to chimneys or ducting and temperature is also thermal conductivity will be reduced. The ducts will be flowing of air within a designed direction should be there. That's why electrical equipment is very, very perfectly to be working properly, and the air and temperature ensure that air and temperature so that workers will not feel much overheat as well as the inconvenience in the oxygen percentage less and all. Keep the workplace clean and tidy. It's not so keep the workplace and clean and tidy. It's not supposed to be a dirty place will be there. We have to always keep the workplace is clean and tidy, and ventilate the workplace. Ventilate the workplace, sir. Important is normally in textile industries ventilation will not be properly placed, but we have to see that ventilation will be proper. Ventilation means normally people are thinking that it is a lighting. No, not a lighting. It is a air not to be accumulated in one place. If air accumulated, not only dust will be exposed to that workforce, and also heat is also more. That is ventilation means proper proper airflow system is there. Normally, people are thinking that ventilation means there is no what is called ventilation means proper lighting is not that, sir. Ventilation means that the like for example air changes per hour as per the ventilation system in the Factories Act 1940. There should be a 6 air changes per hour, ACPH we call 6 air changes per hour will be as per the Factories Act. That's why ventilate the workplace very perfectly. Otherwise, the air will be accumulated, and thereby dust will be exposed. Thereby noise levels is more. Thereby heat is also more. That is why the workplace should be ventilated properly, and there should not be any accumulation of the